Let's go! Kendal Briles to Mississippi State. The rumors are picking up. Nothing is official, but the 247 Mississippi State community is starting to really push this. Steve Robertson, I think is his name, of Hale State. So comment down below, do you believe this would actually be a good move for Kendal Briles? Because on the surface, it looks very lateral. But this is very important when it comes to actual offensive and defensive coaches. The background of the head coach oftentimes plays a huge role into what coordinators actually want to do. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you right now. So, I know you've already subscribed and ring the bell. Don't forget, for the national championship game, we'll be doing a pregame, halftime, and postgame show. The link is down below. So, obviously, this is a very shocking development here, right? You not only, if this actually does go through from an Arkansas perspective, you lose one of your best coaches. You also lose them to a team that you have to play every year, and that win on the schedule is very important for a middle-tier school like Arkansas and Mississippi State. And I know that sounds offensive, but you guys know the SEC hierarchy. You know that both Arkansas and Mississippi State are about on the same level. They're not with the LSUs, the Alabamas, the Georgias, so on and so on and so on. So, look, this is pretty interesting, right? So why on earth would you go from one school to another? Well, the first is money, right? So obviously Kendal Briles would be getting some type of raise to go from Arkansas to Mississippi State. But the second comes down to a word that I use quite a bit in college football, and that is autonomy, right? Coaches love power. That's what they seek, right? And Kendal Briles, of course, is the son of one of the more legendary modern-day offensive savants, Art Briles. And Kendal Briles is a very good play caller. Now, floating in the top right corner of your screen is my video from earlier this year where I gave you my official play caller rankings in the SEC, and Kendal Briles was firmly in the top 5. So, look, there is a lot about this move, if it does happen, that won't make sense on the surface. But going back to the word autonomy, Kendal Briles would have more of it. Remember, Sam Pittman is an offensive side of the football coach. Now, he's never himself actually really been a play caller. He's been more of an offensive line coach, but he is an offensive-minded coach. So, more than likely, I'm not in the meeting room every week. Kendal Briles is, I guess you could say, hamstrung by some of the things that Sam Pittman would probably want to do offensively. Where if you go to Mississippi State and go coach with a guy like Zach Arnett, you are going to have more power. The first thing, Zach Arnett is a first-year head coach. He is 36 years of age, and he has only coached on the defensive side of the football. So Zach Arnett would relinquish all of the offensive play calling decisions to Kendal Briles. That would be the only way it would make sense for Kendal to go from one school to the next. Now, I know a lot of you will say, well, why didn't Kendal Briles just go be a head coach somewhere? Well, it's because of the baggage with the last name of Briles. That's part of it. And when you become a head coach, people start asking you more questions about what may or may not have happened in your past. So, honestly, I don't know if Kendal Briles will ever get a big-time head coaching opportunity. He may just be an offensive coordinator the rest of his career. We don't know. So, making the move from Arkansas to Mississippi State, it is as lateral of a move. You could even make a case that is a step down, but that is why he would do it. More money and more power. And honestly, with any decision in sports, that is what ultimately decides everything. Now, if you're a Mississippi State fan, do you think this would actually be a good move for you? And the answer is unequivocally yes. This would be a home run hire. Once again, I still think Kendal Briles is a top 5 play caller in the SEC. Now, this is what's going to be very interesting to Arkansas fans' reactions if this move actually does go through. Obviously, Kendal Briles, what was that? I don't know. Was there? Anyway, I thought I felt the ground shaking. Bruh. But look, Kendal Briles obviously is a very good play caller in my estimation, right? Yes, Arkansas has had a plethora of really good offensive weapons to work with. Obviously, the offensive line talent has been very good for Arkansas over the past couple of years. The quarterback talent has been very good with KJ Jefferson and Felipe Franks. Before that, Franks, of course, currently still in the NFL as a backup. Wide receiver talent this year wasn't that great in my estimation for Arkansas. It was okay, but in the years past, they did have Traylon Burks, really solid tight ends, and of course, the running backs were also really solid with Rakeem Boyd and Rocket Sanders. So, look, it's, Kendal Briles was propped up by some really talented players, but honestly, if you go look at Arkansas, yes, Kendal Briles, his red zone play calling could get a little too cute, a little too cheeky, but the truth is Kendal Briles is an elite play caller. His sequencing of plays is what I love about him. He does a really good job of giving you the same look, but running different things out of it, and that in and of itself is what makes him a very, very talented play caller. And if you want to see more examples of that, once again, I'll link the video I did earlier this year about Kendal Briles. So I think Mississippi State should absolutely make this move happen. Once again, I don't know what the money would be. I don't know what the situation would be. But I do think Kendal Briles would be interested in a fresh start. But obviously, there is one major holdup in all of this, and it is by far the most important thing you need in the modern game. Boom! I'm looking at you. Yes, you, right now. So, Kendal Briles will no longer have KJ Jefferson. Okay, now, before I continue, I hope you subscribe, ring the bell. KJ is really special. Now, Will Rogers is likely to come back from Mississippi State. He himself is also a good quarterback. Now, how similar is Kendal Briles to the offense of Mike Leach? Well, there are more schematic geniuses out there than me that can get into the intricacies of both of them. Obviously, Mike Leach and Kendal Briles' father, Art Briles, you can make the case, are the two most influential offensive play callers of the modern era game. Their offenses, obviously, you think of the air raid, right? They spread you out. I do think Kendal Briles, though, is more of a run-based coach, right? Where they like to run out of their looks. And obviously, Mike Leach is an official air raid coach, right? He is a guy that loves to air it out. He doesn't really like to use the run game as much. Now, once again, that is a very watered-down definition. There are plenty of air raid certified coaches that could break down the differences in both of them a lot better than I can, but Kendal would be bringing a little bit more of a physical approach to what they do. What I'm about to say over the next few minutes, I don't want anyone to take as coming distastefully, because Mike Leach is what made Mississippi State relevant. With the air raid attack, they have won a lot of games over the past couple of seasons. But let's actually take a look at the yard per play numbers, Power 5 adjusted, for both Mike Leach and Kendal Briles over the past couple of seasons. Now, I said all that stuff about the spread offenses. I shared that because it is important to know that this is a difference, right? Mike Leach spreads you out and nickels and dimes you through the intermediate passing game, which helps mask the fact that they don't really have vertical weapons offensively, and they really haven't had those at Mississippi State under Leach. So Will Rogers and the Mississippi State intermediate passing attack has been, very good during the Leach era. So understand that that is good. But you're looking at Kendal Briles' yard per play numbers at Arkansas, and these numbers are actually really good. 4th, 6th, and 6th, right? That is amazing considering Arkansas doesn't have the Alabama talent. They don't have the Georgia talent, but they have been in the top half of the SEC every year under Kendal Briles' leadership. And once again, these numbers are Power 5 adjusted. So Briles, yes, he's had better weapons arguably at Arkansas than Mississippi State has had under Leach, but Briles has been very good. Now, what I want you to do is, brace yourself, because what I'm about to show you is going to be probably a little bit of a shock to you, but you're looking now at Mississippi State's yard per play numbers, and they have not been that good if you Power 5 adjust them. Now, are these numbers skewed a little bit because Mississippi State just absolutely got throttled by Alabama every year, and Arkansas put up a little bit bigger of a fight? Yes, and that's, a different discussion for a different day. But still, Mississippi State's yard per play numbers just were not that great over the past couple of seasons, whereas Arkansas's were very, very, very good. So understand that Mississippi State's defense you could argue under Arnett has been better than its offense. And look, I really do believe Mississippi State had better athletes on defense than it did on offense. Obviously, Emmanuel Forbes, Tyrus Wheaton, those guys. But this could actually be a good thing, Kendal Briles coming over, because honestly, I do think he is a really, really good play caller. I don't know Kendall, don't know anyone near him or close to him, but I really do think he is a special play caller. Now, my one final thing, though, is, with all due respect to Will Rogers, KJ Jefferson is a better quarterback. So, obviously, what Kendall would look like without KJ running his offense would be very interesting. Would KJ be interested in joining Kendall in Mississippi? Because, obviously, KJ's from Mississippi. I've already shared a video where I think KJ should declare for the NFL draft and go to the highest bidder, or at least get more money out of Arkansas to come back. I know that doesn't make a lot of Arkansas fans happy, but still, I think if he went into the NFL draft, well, I'll share that in just a second. I have a video on it. I'll link it down below. Now, obviously, a lot of you are going to be buzzing about this Bobby Petrino news going to Texas A&M. The good news is I've already done a video when the initial report was leaked that there was interest between both of them. So that'll be floating in your face in just a second, and you could hear my true thoughts about this Texas A&M and Bobby Petrino fit. Now, there's going to be a lot of controversy surrounding it, especially considering DJ Durkin is the defensive coordinator at Texas A&M. But you'll just go watch the video if you want to know more. Now, this is interesting, okay, this Kendal Briles story, right? I understand this is a very strange day to be an Arkansas Razorback fan. There's all these guys entering the portal. You have as many guys in the portal as anyone right now at this point, outside of Texas A&M. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's, a culture thing. I don't know if Kendall, kicked the tires on the Mississippi State thing. We'll never honestly know how, the agents work. Is Kendall just trying to get a raise from Arkansas to stay? I don't know. I honestly don't know at all. But what we do know are a few things. Number one, the pressure on not only Sam Pittman and Jimbo Fisher has gone through the roof, and getting good offensive play calling is very important. And from the Mississippi State standpoint, offensive side of the football is more important than the defensive side of the football, and Arnett does not call, obviously, defensive plays, or offensive plays. So it's a very interesting dichotomy here with a lot of moving parts. So, look, Mike Leach, all-time great offensive play caller, all-time great offensive mind, made Mississippi State relevant. This next hire is so important for Mississippi State to get right, because Arnett already has a lot on his plate, as he's never been a head coach. He's only been a defensive coordinator. So getting this right is going to be so vital. So comment down below your thoughts on if you think Kendal Briles should make this move. At this point, I think he's going to stay. I do. I think he's going to get a good raise to hang around, because Sam Pittman knows how badly he needs him, not only just from his actual ability, but just from, a PR standpoint, knowing all these players and coaches have left. So we shall see what happens, okay? It is Power Hour SEC. Bam! So floating in your face, my thoughts on Bobby Petrino. I'll put another video up here as well with Arkansas football, my KJ Jefferson video. And tonight, we are doing some barbecue chicken. Let's